Bereshus, permission, friends old and new. Let's continue in our series of Mishnahs and Avos. Ben Zoma says, Haviratz lemitzvah kala, run to a minor mitzvah, uboreach min ha'avera, and flee and run away from sin. Shem mitzvah goreres mitzvah, that mitzvah causes mitzvahs, ve'avera goreres avera, and avera sin causes a person to commit more sin. Sheschar mitzvah, that the reward of mitzvah is the performance and the opportunity of acquiring another mitzvah, uschar avera. And the reward of sin is the opportunity of more iniquity. Ben Azai was a contemporary of Ben Zoma, the author of our previous Mishnah, and he was also one of those who had entered into the mystical forest, into the Pardes. For those who just completed learning Masechta Shkolim in the Daf Hayomi cycle, you'll recall the name mentioned of Ben Azai many times throughout Masechta Shkolim, and debating the famous Rabbi Akiva. But of all of the great debates between Ben Azai and Rabbi Akiva, I think that there is no greater debate on what is the singular most important precept in all of Torah Kula. You all know Rabbi Akiva's dictum. V'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha, love your neighbor, love your friend as yourself. Zeh klal gadol b'Torah. This is a great precept in the Torah. Excuse me. What you may not know, what you may not have heard, is that Ben Azai disagreed with his contemporary of Rabbi Akiva. What did Ben Azai say? So the Gemara tells us, it's a Gemara in Yerushalmi, in Nidorim, it's a Sifra in Kedoshim, and it's also a Medrash Rabbah in Bereshis. Ben Azai says, Zeh Sefer Toldos HaOdam, Zeh Klal Gadol b'Torah, that this is the book of the generations of man. This is the great precept in the Torah. The book of the generations of man is the great precept in the Torah. What is Ben Azai coming to teach us? So you got to look inside the Torah to see what he's coming to teach us. So you have to look, where does it say Zeh Toldos HaOdam? Zeh Sefer Toldos HaOdam. So it says in Parshas Bereshis, the following is the pasuk: Zeh Sefer Toldos HaOdam. This is the book of the generations of mankind or man. B'yom biro Elokim Adam bidmus Elokim oso. On the day that he created him, he created man, in his image he created him. The dictum, the maxim, the saying of Rabbi Akiva, V'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha, we don't need an explanation. Love everybody like you love yourself, and everything will come into place. But Ben Azai's position needs a little bit of an explanation. What does Ben Azai say? He says that if you view all mankind as being created in the image of God, and that every single individual is imbued with holiness and godliness, including yourself, then you will have no other choice but to honor all of mankind. So Ben Azai, he says, Zeh Sefer Toldos HaOdam. This is the book of the generations of man. What is it? That all men are created in the image of God. Let's return to our Mishnah. Ben Azai says, Haviratz lemitzvah, run to a mitzvah, run to do mitzvahs. So we're not dealing here with difficult mitzvahs, time-consuming mitzvahs, labor-intensive mitzvahs. Ben Azai says, run to do the easy mitzvahs. A journey of 1,000 miles, my friend, begins with just the first step. Start with the little things in life, the smallest, the easiest. Just one small, specific good deed. But what is a mitzvah kala? What is an easy mitzvah? So the Gemara in Avot tells us what's an easy mitzvah. What does the Gemara say? Mitzvah kala liyesh li HaKadosh Baruch Hu omer. I have an easy mitzvah. And what does the Gemara answer? What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? V'sukkah shema. And the mitzvah of sukkahs, of sitting in the sukkah, is its name. So what's the reason why sukkah is considered an easy mitzvah? It's due to the fact that less bechisaron kis, that there is no monetary loss in its observance. You don't need to own a sukkah in order to observe the mitzvah of sukkahs. Similarly, the Gemara in Sukkot tells us, a person does not fulfill his obligation on the first days of Sukkot with the lulav of his friend. What is the Gemara coming to teach us? If you just go visit a sukkah and have something to eat there, whether you own it or not, you fulfill the mitzvah of sukkah. But on the other hand, if you take somebody else's lulav and you don't have an ownership interest in it, you may not have fulfilled your obligation of the mitzvah of lulav. Sukkah is an easy mitzvah. It's imperative to own a lulav and an esrog, but it's not imperative to own a sukkah. There are many more examples of what is a mitzvah kala, but we're not going to go into it tonight. Ben Azai adjures in our Mishnah with one small action, just one small action that you choose today, and what you choose to do, be it a good deed, a mitzvah, or an ugly sin, an avera, it will lead you on a chain of deeds. Ki mitzvah goreres mitzvah, because a mitzvah causes another mitzvah, the avera goreres avera, and an avera causes another avera. With or without your knowledge, you will weave the gossamer strands of little actions into a rope that can pull you to heaven or hell. So the Gemara tells us in Sukkah, again, that Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yasi says, Yetzer hara b'tchila doime lechut shel buchya, that in the beginning, the Yetzer hara, he's comparable to a fine strand of the spider. Ulebisov doime ki avatos ba'agola. And in the end, it's like the thickness of the rope of a wagon. Similarly, the Gemara in Shabbos tells us, Shekach oimer hayetzar. This, Shekach unoso, Shekach unoso shal hayetzar. This is the skill set. This is the artisan and profession of the Yetzer Hara. What does he say? Hayoim oimer lo aseh kach. Today, do this. Perform this little avera. Ulemachar oimer aseh kach. And tomorrow, do this little avera. Ad she'omer lo oved avodah zarah, until he finally convinces you to transgress the prohibition against idol worship. Ve'holech ve'oved. And you go and you commit it. It's always the little things. So I was thinking about this concept. It's the little things in life. So the Taz tells us something very, very interesting at the end of Hilchos Shabbos in the halachas of Havdalah. The Taz brings down a minhag that we have today that I practice, and you may practice it in your home. That when you fill up the Havdalah kos, you fill it up so that it overflows with wine. Why? Because this based upon a Gemara in Eruvin that says, Ein bayis she'eno shoifech yayin kemayim lo roeh simin bracha. Any household that does not spill wine like water will not have, it's not a home that is blessed. What's the pshat of the Taz here concerning that a home that doesn't spill wine like water won't be a home that's blessed? So the Taz explains. And if I may add on to the Taz, it's like getting worried over spilled milk. If you're the type of individual that is in ka'as and gets concerned and is roges and is worried and concerned and angered over the littlest spill of something in your life, then that is a home that's not blessed, because every little thing that happens will cause that person worry, concern, and even anger. So in the little things in life, don't be concerned about. And we pour over the cup of wine, let the cup of wine runneth over, to show that it matters not. There are other things in life worth living for. Don't fret the little things. Ben Azai says, Haviratz lemitzvah, run to do a mitzvah. So my father liked to quote a famous story from the Chavetz Chaim. The Chavetz Chaim was once walking through the marketplace. And as he was walking through the marketplace, he saw a woman who was selling bagels. You could tell, or you could, for your version of the story, it could be fruit, or it could be any type of ware. And on her stand, a four-legged stand, she had bagels. And there were street urchins that were roaming through all of the aisles of all of the merchants. And they see this old lady standing by her bagel stand, and they kicked one of the legs out from underneath the stand. And as they kick one of the legs out from underneath the stand topples over, and all the bagels spill out into the street. And as the bagels spill out into the street, not only do the street urchins go and start to grab the bagels, but so do all the passers-by and all of the people that are walking through to and fro within the marketplace. And all the woman can do, as all the bagels are being taken away from her, is stand there and cry, woe is to me. What am I going to do? And as the Chavetz Chaim watched this event unfold before his eyes, he approached the woman and he says, you should grab bagels too. You grab every mitzvah that you possibly can. Haviratz lemitzvah, moira v'raboisai. Good night.